Okay, good afternoon, my friends, and welcome to today's NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold for this Wednesday, the 12th day of August in the year of our Lord 2020. Finally, good guys have something to report, and all I can say is it's about damn time. From law enforcement today comes this one. Judge rejects Seattle protesters' call for ban on crowd control weapons. They said it makes them buy expensive armor. Oh, boo-hoo. All this mayhem going on around this nation is bringing the bats out of the belfry, so to speak, and the proof of this is when the rioters who are breaking laws all over this nation say something and a federal judge finally puts them down. Call it a win for the good guys, finally. We have seen our brothers and sisters in Seattle taking a beating for the past couple of months, both physically from a criminal mob and legally from their own city council. On the same day that the city council, Seattle City Council eviscerated the police department budget, forcing Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best to throw up her arms and announce her retirement, a federal judge provided some welcome relief. On August 10th, federal judge Richard Jones denied a motion which was seeking an outright ban on the use of crowd control weapons by the Seattle Police Department's officers, KUOW reported. The lawsuit was actually so absurd as it to be comical. The claim was that the protesters were being, quote, priced out of their constitutional rights, unquote, because of special protective gear they needed to wear to participate in ongoing riots. Oh, they didn't call them riots. They called them protests. But as we have seen, not only seen in Seattle, but also in Portland, Chicago, New York, and others, these are anything but peaceful protests. The lawsuit alleged that the Seattle Police Department's repeated use of tear gas and other crowd control measures against demonstrators was a violation of their First Amendment right to peaceably assemble. Emphasis added there. That argument has been repeatedly used as those engaging in these so-called peaceful protests have been trying to reduce the department's use of less than lethal crowd control weapons. The lawsuit contended that the city of Seattle had in essence implemented a de facto protest tax because protesters were required to purchase cost prohibitive gear to withstand munitions, thereby infringing on their right to equal protection under the law. In text lingo, ROFLMAO, protest tax? The attorney representing the plaintiffs, Talitha Hazelton, said, quote, "You shouldn't have to be rich to be able to air your grievances via your First Amendment rights," unquote. Now, this lady is a freaking lawyer and should know better. But Jones thankfully wasn't buying that load of horse manure, banning the motion to institute a blanket prohibition on the department's use of crowd control measures, writing that the plaintiffs had, quote, failed to meet their burden to show that the balance of equities tips in their favor, unquote. Jones also affirmed the city's contention that the petitioners had not adequately asserted their equal protection claim. In his ruling, Jones referenced a separate case which he had ruled on in the matter of a joint lawsuit filed by Black Lives Matter, Seattle King County, and ACLU of Washington, whereby he had issued a preliminary injunction extending a ban on the department's use of less lethal chemical and projectile weapons against peaceful protesters through the end of September. And now to remove that liberal blindfold here, folks, no one seems to understand the fallacies of the arguments of today. When you protest peacefully, you have the backing of the Constitution and the laws in this nation. But when you start protesting and become violent, then that is when your rights all disappear. All of them, folks, because when you get violent, you cease to be a law-abiding citizen of this nation and you become a criminal. Now I know, folks, that the left is doing their damnedest to get rid of this stigma to being a criminal. But if they don't succeed, or for that matter until they succeed, criminals don't have these rights. They have given them away to break the law. The moment they became violent and started to hurt people or destroy property, their rights are gone. But the left just cannot understand this concept of law, which is one of the main reasons they are against it. The thing that will set this nation back on the right track here, folks, is to vote all of the demono-rats out of office. Now, there are a few actual Democrats, and they love this nation, even though they have a different idea on how to keep it safe and keep it a nation. But when they see the law being broken, they halt their forward motion and follow the law. But the lawbreakers like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Ilhan Omar, and others like them care nothing for the law, and because of that need to be removed from office as soon as possible. And for the sake of this great nation, the sooner the better. Thank you all for joining me today, and as a friend of mine used to always say, we will not be ruled, and that is if we start refusing to allow it. This is Robert the Infidel, and I will see you all again on Thursday, which is tomorrow. And remember, NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold is brought to you through Conservative Nation Media, where America always wins. See you all again tomorrow. Have a blessed day.